Hello, this is Kara from Lady Kara Tarot with a general reading for Saturday, February 7th, 2026. I'm using the Goddess of Love Tarot and the Craft and Decadence Oracle. The spread I'll be doing today is one by my friend Denise at Tarot of Dreams 80. It's a 7-card spread. And I'm changing up the layout a little bit today. The top row, from left to right, body, mind, spirit. The bottom row, internal influences, external influences. That's all the same as usual. But then the last 2 cards this time are challenges and action to take. So with body, mind, and spirit, body is the 10 of Wands. Honey, you are burned out. You see that moth at the top on fire and falling to the ground. And meanwhile, from the ground, you're getting this whole puff of smoke. Everything's gone in a puff of smoke. You are just worn out. And yet, a lot of people don't realize it because you are able to give this appearance of being blooming and blossoming and fragrant in terms of just the way you interact with people. And so it's very easy for people to overlook that you are struggling physically, internally, with exhaustion, probably. Mind is the Maiden of Cups. And here, too, if you look to the right of her, it kind of looks like there's a bed there. She also needs some rest, but she still has that internal refreshment. This is your mental refreshment, mental ideas. You're standing on a sea of pearls, and your mind has all of these blossoming ideas and a swirl of ideas. So it really is a matter of needing to rest your body so that you can get through things and then really work on the ideas that are springing forth in your mind. And spiritually, this is where it's at. You have a sense of yourself as a unique being within the center swirl of that cosmos. You get refreshment from your memories of your youth. And you also have the pearls of wisdom falling on you, and the blossoming refreshment spiritually is where you are together right now. And it can be hard to hold on to when you're having trouble in the exhaustion area. But this just is your opportunity to recognize that you're spiritually centered, and that this can be something you can hold on to that adds to all of that, all of the emotional creativity that you have going on in your mind. Oh, by the way, if you're hearing a running water sound, that's my aquarium in the background. So now we get to this second row: internal influences, external influences, challenges, and action to take. So the internal influence today is you're really feeling a sense of beginning, almost a sense of returning to childhood, like you are just an egg and you're just coming out of the egg. And where you're headed is really lovely. You feel that you have a sense of blossoming and potential, but you're so little. I mean, the 2 little snakes here, you're so little that you're just like crawling towards this internally. That's how you're feeling. You might be feeling very much like a child, like find yourself waiting for permission to do things instead of just doing them, or feeling insecure and uncertainty. Your external influence is that you need a break, you need a rest. And if you're able to pull back a little bit right now, you're going to find that this is an incredibly fruitful period of pulling insights in and really helping you regroup and bring new things into flowering if you can just pull in all of those resources by pulling within yourself for a while. If you're able to get away, that would be one of the ways to do it. You might need to do it because here the challenge is that you are feeling very trapped. Even though, and here we have tears that are like pearls of tears that you're just, and to me, a lot of these things just point kind of to physical exhaustion, where you're feeling trapped. You feel like you just have to keep putting one foot in front of the other and just keeping going. Notice that the hermit is looking directly at this, and the hermit is fully erect, looking clear-eyed at this, but it's a clear-eyed realization that you're feeling stuck and that you're exhausted and you do need a break. Finally, your action to take is, now this card is called Lust. This would be the Strength card and other suits. And that really, what the picture looks like is just like stand up and be counted. Stand up and say, hey, I'm taking my break. And it doesn't matter if the snakes are flying by or the lion is running by you. You're just kind of looking at the sun and hailing the sun and saying, I need all of this sun for myself. I need this. And notice that she is embowered by roses, white roses and red roses. So purity and sexuality or lust, as the case may be. So this is the best of lust. If you're going to, like, sometimes the devil card is also called lust, but in this case, this is the strength lust. This is the best of lust. This is that lusty embracing of all that you're meant to be, including the sunny parts of yourself. And you could argue that the hermit is also looking at this as well. The hermit is seeing beyond the things that feel like they're trapping you and seeing to where you could be here with this standing up on your own and moving forward with strength. Now, if we want to look at just the majors, we see an interesting feature here that all of the cards about the tiredness, all of the cards about the refreshment, for the most part, are all minors. The majors that we have are the Fool, the Hermit, and Lust. Now, of those three, the Fool is represented here not as a person. The Fool is represented as these snakes coming out of this egg heading towards the rose. So that to me indicates that this is more about the feeling, that feeling of potential beginnings, that feeling of being newly hatched and looking around again and having to find your bearings and taking risks. The other two are represented by people, and notably, again, the Hermit is looking at the Lust card. The Hermit also has the moon and the stars. So and aside from having that obvious blossom, that sprig of blossom, and the lantern with a star inside. So this hermit is particularly not just literally forward-looking, but also particularly hopeful. And despite the broken heart in the background of this hermit, this is a card of great intuition and a time of real personal enrichment that's going to lead you right over to that strength that we were talking about at the end. Those are the longer range effects here from these cards today. Now, I am also going to be adding some oracle cards from the Craft and Decadence Oracle. It's a beautiful, rich, jewel-toned oracle. Actually has a lot of the same shade ranges as the Goddess of Love Tarot. These very deep and rich saturated colors, as well as some kind of almost poisonous greens in some of the cards, which both decks share. So I think even though this is a dark darker background deck, I think they actually communicate very well. Now here on the left, linking the Ten of Wands, this sense of just exhaustion and it's completion, but being exhausted. And the Fool, we have Bacchus, this sense of revelry and overdoing it. And that links both of these very well, is that you have this sense of overdoing it, but you do want to also that has worn you out. It may be, you could be worn out from partying as well as work. And you do want to take that refreshment from that and lead it into this sense of beginning again. The middle card is Solitary Journey, Self-Progress, and of course it's right there between the sense of feeling trapped and the Hermit being the stronger one because it's a major. And he's looking right, his body is positioned right towards that. So I think it's really easy to see here that card is responding to that Hermit card and reinforcing that solitary journey is what you need to be focusing on right now. And it's what is going to help you keep that refreshment of the feeling that you are just standing on pearls, that you have this glorious underpinning. And by having this time alone, you're going to be able to get back to that. And then moving over to the right, we have a card that says Contradiction, Prodigy, Growth Through Paradox. And I think that's here, it's next to these, these childhood memories, these bubbles of fantasy and really feeling you're spiritually alive. And the paradox of having been so overwhelmed, the paradox will be that through pulling back, as we've mentioned with the Hermit, through pulling back, you are going to gain that refreshment to move forward in strength. As I have said before in VRs and other things, I've said there were a lot of things that I thought I didn't like about this Goddess of Love deck. But it just continues to grow on me. One of the things I loved was the juxtaposition of pink and red and the different shades of pinks and reds. But as I'm working with it more, there is visually so much to these collage works and so much to work with that there's a tremendous amount of depth in this deck, which I am really enjoying. And I'm really also glad that I decided to use the craft Decadence with it, because I do think they communicate together very well. And I look forward to working with these two more in the coming month. This is Kara from Lady Kara Tarot, and I hope this has meaning for you and provides signposts to help you navigate your day. Thank you.